Anytime Rapzilla's doing something like that in Atlanta next year, you got to be in the building, man.
Go lucky, go lucky, go, go lucky, go lucky, go, go lucky, go lucky, go,
What's going on, family? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray. I'm back with another CHH today. And guys, today I want to talk about a thing that I wanted to talk about last week, but I had technical difficulties. Today I want to talk about what 5 things I liked about the A3C event and 5 things I think that I think they could improve on. I don't think it's gonna be 5 things. Well, let's say things that I liked about the A3C event and 5 things I thought that should improve. But if you like this video, please hit it with subscription button, the subscription button. Just subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost to 1,000. And also go to chhnow.com. That is the best site for Christian hip-hop blogs. It's written by yours truly. But 2 weeks ago, not last weekend, weekend before last, we had the A3C event, which was very dope. And I want to kind of break down a few things that I liked about it and a few things I didn't like about it. The first thing I liked about it was the venue, man. It was a dope venue, man. It was at Met Atlanta. Nice venue, nice spot. The first event, which had the indie only showcase, it was a nice little spot, very intimate setting. I loved that part about it. And the concert was outside. Thank God it did not rain, because if it rained, bruh, it would have been kind of bad. But it didn't rain. It was dope. It was awesome. I loved that event. The second thing I liked about it was the fact that networking was crazy, man. I networked with a lot of people that maybe watched the channel, man, maybe saw me on the Morning Vibes, or, you know, follow my podcast, or my music, or anything that I do, man. I met actual people that saw me and like, yo, bro, you look familiar, bro. You look familiar. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know. So that was kind of cool, man. Another thing that I liked the fact that it seemed like the community is diversifying itself. Not diversifying itself. It seemed like it's getting back to not the mainstream CCM side, but more so like the urban side that it really Christian hip hop is based off of. It's based off of the hip hop movement, and to see guys, to see the crowd, black and brown, and you had a few, you know, white people there. It was great that the culture came out and supported, man. And another thing that I like, man, is like the concerts for the most part was really good. You know, the indies only show was really good, and also the Lightwork show was on. Man, whoever the Aaron Effect is, she is a dope. She put together a nice show along with Rapzilla and Reflection Amplified. So a few things that I did not like about it, and I didn't say didn't like about it. I felt like it needed to be improved. The one thing, it needs to be a little longer, man. I felt like that those 2 concerts were a little long, and the fact that it was just the weekend was cool, but I wish that we had more events lined up alongside with the A3C event where we can kind of come and do some things, man. It didn't necessarily have to be like, okay, it could have been Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm good with that. I'm not saying that we should have a whole week, but we should have had like a few panels talking about a few things, and also a panel as far as, hey, look, this is what's happening in Christian hip hop. I feel like sometimes when you voice your opinion in this community, a lot of people, they either take you as whatever, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, or you know what I'm saying, I like we hear you, but you can only make change if you're a bigger person. So I felt like, man, it should have been a few panels. Rapzilla, being the biggest person in our space, should take the charge on that. And the cool thing was about the event, man, I had a chance to talk to Chad Horton, which was crazy, man. And I feel genuinely like that he and the Rapzilla team is really trying to put on for the culture. I know Rapzilla takes a lot of flack because, you know, artists submit their music there and they don't get played. But and I think that he made a good point. He was like, look, man, people think because, hey, I'm a Christian, you're a Christian, I should send my music to you and you should play it. But it has to be some type of standard. I say for the artists that's not getting played to Rapzilla, there are plenty of other sites like CHH Now, you know, You can go to submit your music and you can get played there. So I think that it should be a bigger days, or the day should be like broken down into a few things. I think the critique section is straight, but I feel like a few things happen, like a forum, an open forum. The Rapzilla can hear the community and can cater towards the community, because Rapzilla, if you notice it caters more to artists than also the whole Christian hip hop community. I mean, you still have some people that like Christian hip hop, but you don't have where the artists, where it's so many artists. When I went to the event, trust me, bro, there was so many artists in the building. It was crazy. Another thing I didn't like, that I think they should approve, it should be more transparency when it comes to when these events being put on, especially the Christian events. You know, the critique for both days you had to pay. I think Friday night was $100, Saturday night was $150. I am not, whatever you have to do in order to get your music heard, I'm not knocking that at all, because there are, you know, when you get to these bigger panels, these independent panels, you have to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that, oh snap, you shouldn't pay or you don't have to pay, but I feel like, look, man, let it be what it be. Yo, you paying for this particular slot, and here's what you're paying for. And I would be more than happy. I wouldn't pay it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not paying it, but there are plenty of artists that's willing to pay it so that they can be heard and they can get their songs into these different spheres and spaces. And especially with playlisting being the biggest way artists getting plays now, that's a huge look. So I just a little bit more transparency, man, so that way artists can know, look, man, this is what it is. And I think that artists, and this is not a Rapzilla issue, this is a Christian hip hop issue. We have elevated our artists a lot of times, so that, I'm not saying everybody, because there was a lot of artists I met that was, man, it was dope, they was cool, but you had a select few that you kind of tell this is the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? You had some artists that was right here, and you had everyone else in the middle space. And I don't understand that. I don't want to get on my soapbox too long, but if we was in downtown Atlanta, in this little bubble that you had a Christian hip hop, yeah, you may be popular, you may be lit, quote unquote, but if I'd have walked 3 blocks up the road and be like, hey, have you heard of so and so? Oh, Lucky Murray, I never heard of you in my life. So what are we doing here when it comes to that? I just didn't. That part right there, I was bothered by. And I watched a few artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was in the green room, or they was hanging out with the other artists. They didn't really mingle with the people. Now, you had some people, like, you had a lot of artists. I'm not going to say there was a select few. It wasn't everybody. But most of the artists, once they got finished what they said, they was out there watching the concert with the people, because it's a community. You know what I'm saying? It's a community. Like KB said, it's not a subgenre, and I kind of meant to it, but this community of Christian hip hop, man, with people who love God and also love hip hop, man, we need to bridge that together. But I think that too, man. Just the fact that, the concert, the last thing, the sound. I didn't really like the sound for the Indies Only show. They should have had the same sound that they had Saturday night than they had Friday night. I know it was intimate. I know that, hey, you can get a DJ, whatever. The microphone kept cutting in and out. That's all of that. I mean, all I was thinking was sound, and I wish the sound, it was coming from one part of the room, like right here. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was like a surround sound. That way these artists can really showcase their talent, and you can kind of hear them. Because some people got great sound, other people did not. They had an awkward break. I know Beacon Light was coming up, and he was performing. They had like a 10-minute break, and then the crowd was dead after that. So, but ultimately, man, I think it's a step in the right direction. Anytime Rapzilla is doing something like that in Atlanta next year, you got to be in the building, man. So again, let me know what you thought about the A3C event in Atlanta. Did you like it? Comment below. If you didn't like it, comment below. Are you planning to be at the next one next year, man? I hope to see you there. Again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, back with another CHH day. And guys, that was a pretty good event, I ain't gonna lie to you. Blog probably coming up this weekend or whatever, so I'm doing different things now. Mondays and Thursdays, I'm dropping 2 videos a week, unless something special happens. 2 videos a week. I think that's a little bit more manageable for me, and I don't go crazy. But let me know what you got to say in the comment section below. But until next time, people.